A low hum reverberated through the biozone sky dome as dawn's pale light filtered through its curved, transparent panels. Dr. Alana Reyes drifted between rows of incubation pods, her white coat brushing against the chilled metal rails. Each pod held a different strain of engineered creature-winged kittens, bioluminescent wolves, miniature serpents, that none drew her focus like hatchling number 47. She paused before its pod, scanning the vitals on her wrist display. Heart rate, flatline, oxygen saturation, 0. Instinct prickled at her spine. Across the sky dome, alarms screamed as red warning lights pulsed. "Damn it," Alana muttered. By protocol, hatchling number 47 should have been euthanized the moment it collapsed. Only 2 days past its first test flight, and the genetic modifications had pushed its fragile heart beyond safe limits. Commander Herlock's orders were explicit. No second chances. But Alana couldn't let it die not like this. "Marcus," she called over her shoulder. Her intern froze. Tablet clutched to his chest. "Grab the Adrenaline X vial. Now." He hesitated. "Doctor, there's no authorized override." "The directive." She cut him off with a steely look. "Either you follow my orders or you stand by and watch this creature die. Your choice." He rushed to the med station and returned, handshaking as he handed her the syringe filled with the cobalt blue serum. Alana pried open the pod's hatch with a hiss, its seals disengaging to release a blast of humid air. The hatchling lay sprawled on the grated floor, pale translucent scales reflecting the sky dome's glow. Alana knelt beside it. "Okay, number 47. Let's give this another shot." She swabbed the creature's flank with antiseptic and then plunged the needle in. The hatchling convulsed once, twice, and then its chest heaved violently. A rasping croak escaped its throat. Muscles rippled under those nascent wings. Alarm lights turned green as monitors flashed back to life. A string of rapid heartbeat tones triangulated in the air. Alana exhaled, relief flooding her. But relief was short-lived. The reinforced door slammed open behind them. Security officers in dark armor flooded into the pod bay, their batons glowing red. At their helm strode Commander Herlock, his expression thunderous. "Dr. Reyes," he barked, voice amplified by the bay's acoustics. "You're in direct violation of the containment and euthanasia protocol. You administered a non-approved reagent." She stood, heart pounding. "Adrenaline X is approved for cardiac restart. You signed off on its use in emergency protocols last quarter." He stepped forward, voice cold as obsidian. "That was for human subjects only, not genetically unstable fauna. You endangered staff, breached security, and jeopardized our research timeline. You're relieved of duty. Effective immediately." Alana's protest died in her throat as 2 officers grabbed her arms, hauling her toward the exit. Behind her, hatchling number 47's nascent roar echoed, a raw, triumphant cry that seemed almost human in its gratitude. She allowed herself a final glance at the creature's glowing amber eyes. "I'm sorry," she whispered, voice thick. Then the doors slid shut, sealing her fate and sending ripples through the citadel that would awaken powers far older than any laboratory. The transport shuttle shuddered as it punched through the stratosphere, carrying Alana Reyes away from the gleaming towers of the citadel. Below her, the planet's curvature dissolved into a haze of crimson dust and drifting crystal spires. Alana pressed her forehead to the viewport, mind racing with the consequences of her defiance. A synthetic voice intoned over the comms, approaching Docking Bay Delta 9 Nebula's edge. The pirate haven materialized in the void like a cluster of jagged teeth-rusted hulls welded into makeshift piers, cargo containers stacked high, and neon lanterns swaying in 0G. "Welcome to exile." As the shuttle docked, rough hands yanked her through the airlock. Marcus, still trembling from their last encounter, stood among a ragtag assembly of mercenaries and smugglers. "Dr. Reyes," he whispered, voice unsteady. "They know you saved that hatchling. The Citadel's Black Ops will hunt you if you stay." She nodded, swallowing hard. "Then, let's vanish before they come knocking." Inside a dimly lit cavern beneath the docking bay, Alana was led to a council of grizzled veterans. Captain Ilias, a scarred man with a mechanical eye, leaned forward. "Doctor, we've heard the Citadel's breeding dragons for warfare. Bioweapon prototypes. They'll unleash them on worlds that resist their rule." Alana clenched her fists. Hatchling number 47 wasn't a weapon. I saw fear in its eyes, mere survival instinct. If they continue, they'll create monsters no one can control. There was a tense pause. Then Ilias's mechanical eye glowed. "We could use someone with your skills. But the price is high. Information. Proof. Can you get it?" She studied their faces hardened by lawlessness, but not cruelty. "I'll need a secure lab, access to Citadel data cores, and one of your stealth freighters." A slender figure slipped forward. Nix, an information broker whose tattoos glowed under blacklight. "I can hack the surface grid, but you'll owe me later. And trust no one." Alana met Nix's gaze. "Agreed." For days, she moved through Nebula's edge like a ghost-repairing medbase for cutthroat captains, patching injuries in clandestine clinics, always watching the skies for patrol drones. At night, she pored over smuggled schematics, hatchery, blueprints, flight test logs, even whispers of a secret training facility hidden deep within Orion's Veil. But the most damning rumor came over recycled tea in a rusted freighter bar. A grizzled pilot, scars running like tributaries across his face, leaned in close. "They've got dragons wired to command signals one shriek, and they'll carpet entire fleets with plasma fire. You really want to tangle with that?" Alana's jaw set. "I don't have a choice. If I don't stop them, no one will." Outside, the void stretched in endless black. Somewhere beyond the veil, her beloved hatchling soared stronger, smarter, and hunted. And Alana knew that finding it would be her only hope of turning the tide. She tapped the holomap strapped to her wrist. A blinking dot pulsed in the dark between two nebulae. "That's our destination," she murmured, eyes aflame. "And I won't let them weaponize another life just for power." Packing her medkit and the stolen datapad, she stepped aboard the smuggler's freighter. Engines roared to life. And they slipped into the stars, an exiled doctor on a mission to expose a galactic conspiracy, with nothing but courage and the dragon's roar to guide her. Beneath the humming neon girders of the clandestine test facility, Alana Reyes crouched in the shadow of a bulkhead, heart pounding in sync with the distant thrum of startup turbines. Before her, through reinforced glass, she could just make out hatchling number 47, its juvenile form, now nearly twice the size of the day she saved its life, pacing within a spherical containment chamber. Bioluminescent runes traced along its scales, pulsing in time with its agitated breaths. "Ready?" Nix hissed, hovering at Alana's side with a portable EMP emitter strapped to her belt. Captain Ilias and his boarding crew stood poised at the airlock behind them, plasma carbines at the low ready. Alana swallowed hard. "On my mark, let's bring her home." With a sudden crackle, Nix activated the EMP. Lights flickered and died around the chamber as the facility's emergency protocols engaged. Red strobes bathed the corridor, and alarms wailed. The glass door shuddered, then slid open. In a heartbeat, the dragon lunged forward, talons scraping sparks from the metal deck. It threw back its head in a thunderous roar, wings unfurling, each membrane stretching twice its body length. The boarding crew sprang into action. One operator deployed a tethered net gun. Another lobbed a magnetic harpoon designed to latch onto compressed alloys. But hatchling number 47 was too quick. With a beat of its colossal wings, it cleaved through the nets, sending them fluttering like paper scraps. Sparks rained as the magnetic harpoon tore itself free. Then, in a single fluid motion, it leapt upward, talons shredding overhead conduit. "Go! Go!" Alana shouted, sprinting across the open bay. The dragon paused, as if sensing her, its glowing eyes blazing with recognition. She vaulted onto its flanks, just as a patrol drone swooped in, twin laser cannons charging. Without hesitation, the dragon whipped its tail and spat a gout of bioplasma that seared the drone into twisted metal before it even fired. Alana wrapped her arms around its scaled neck, adrenaline surging through her veins, not from the serum this time, but from the pure exhilaration of flight reborn. They burst through the shattered domed roof into open sky. The void stretched. Before them, a canvas of stars, flecked with drifting debris. Below, the facility receded, a mere hatchling itself, compared to the expanse of the galaxy. "Hold on." Alana yelled into the roaring winds as hatchling number 47 banked sharply. They weaved through patrol drones, flames erupting in the distance. As the dragon shook its wings in defiance, each beat propelled them farther from the Citadel's reach. Behind them, spotlights crisscrossed the night, and a cacophony of alarms signaled the start of a full-scale hunt. But in that moment, riding atop her dragon's back, Alana felt something she hadn't dared hope since her dismissal: freedom. As they crossed the threshold of Orion's Veil, the nebula's swirling mists enveloped them. For a heartbeat, time itself seemed to pause. Just her, the dragon, and the promise of what lay beyond. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but together, they would carve a new destiny among the stars. The roar of hatchling number 47's wings faded into the hush of deep space as it ended. Alana emerged from Orion's Veil. Stars stretched into streaks as the dragon accelerated, cutting through the nebular mist like a living arrow. Alana's visor snapped. To alert mode, the Citadel's pursuit drones darkened on the trackers, but they lay far behind. Ahead, a darker shadow loomed against the opal glow of distant nebulae. "Doctor, you're not going to believe this." Hatchling number 47 seemed to rumble in her mind, her impromptu neural link modulator crackling with static. Through the bioluminescent runes on its scales, she sensed awe and warning. She peered through her scope to where an infinite armada drifted in formation, sleek voidcraft as black as the emptiest reaches of space, each ship the size of a moon, their hulls absorbing every photon that dared to touch them. Alarm shrieked in her interface. Megafleet massing, the Wardenet post. Designation: Tribunal Armada. A shiver ran down Alana's spine. This couldn't be the Citadel's doing. It was older, far older. As they neared, an immense flagship detached from the phalanx, its prow carved into an angular spire, taller than any starship Alana had ever seen. It glided toward them, leaving a silent wake that swallowed distant starlight. A voice calm, resonant, and neither wholly mechanical nor organic filled the void around them. "Citadel of worlds, your transgressions reach beyond your borders. You have weaponized Gaia's children." The words pulsed in hatchling number 47's connection to her mind, translating the tribunal's ancient tone. Alana's breath caught. This was no peace envoy. It was an executioner's summons. Hatchling number 47 reared its massive head and unleashed a thunderous roar that rippled through both flesh and steel. Bioplasma ignited along its wing edges, painting the void in fierce emerald arcs. Alana clenched her fist on its rugged mane. "We stand guilty, then," she transmitted back through the link, "but not unrepentant. We never meant to unleash terror, only to save a life." The flagship hovered, its shadow looming like an eclipse. Dozens of smaller vessels formed a ring around them, engines humming in unison. Then, In a voice that resonated through her bones, the tribunal spoke again. Lay down your arms and submit, or bear the judgment of 1,000,000 black ships. Alana's heart pounded. Behind her, the veiled nebulae churned as if stirring at the tribunal's command. But she had one weapon none of these ancient judges could anticipate: compassion. I will surrender, she replied into the void, if you promise to spare every creature you deem a weapon. She swallowed hard and added, and let me show you that mercy can be a strength. Silence reigned for a heartbeat. Then the flagship's great prow glowed with an inner light. Very well, daughter of Earth, deliver your case. But know that mercy is granted only once. Alana settled between the tribunal and her dragon, her pulse alight with hope and fear. The war for Gaia's soul was about to begin, not with fire and death, but with the fragile promise of understanding. And as the 1,000,000 black ships watched in ominous formation, she realized that the fate of every world hung on the breath of a dragon and the courage of one exiled doctor.